How carried are you by your MultiVersus main? This is not to be confused with how much skill does your character take, because your character could take a world's full of skill and you can still be completely carried. Starting off with Agent Smith, I think that time will tell how good this character actually is, but as of right now, I think that this is one of the more honest characters in the game. I mean, look at this. We have 3 bullets in the chamber, and when I do my side special, it is going to do 14 damage. That is absolutely insane. The move itself is already pretty honest, and yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. His up air is probably his most cheesy move, but I mean, can you really say this is carried? I mean, it's just a generic up air, even though you can sneak out some eliminations at about 70%. His up special, pretty honest, even though it's a teleportation move. I wouldn't say this character is carried at all. If you use Agent Smith, even down the line when we find out more tech about this guy, I still wouldn't say he's carried, because it's taking a little bit longer than expected for anyone to get any sort of momentum rolling with this character. If you play Arya, you are by far the most carried character in the entire game. You literally rely on 2 things: bad matchups and knowledge checks. You have moves like this, which are literally a roll attack that look at that. It only costs half of 1 meter on the dodge bar for a roll attack. That is just absolutely stupid. Her forward air is like one of the fastest moves in the entire game, and it kills. Definitely the fastest kill move in the game. I cannot think of a single faster kill move. This teleportation move is literally a free 50 damage combo off of nothing. It's pretty unavoidable. It's like Batman's exploding batarang, just way better. This character pretty much combos for you. You can just click random things and it's probably going to be a combo or a somewhat valid kill confirm. Alright, here's the thing with Banana Guard. This is one of the easiest characters to play in the entire game, and it can definitely carry you, but how far can he carry you? Because he's not a high tier character, let's be real. This guy is a below mid tier character, and if you max out his skill, if you get as good as humanly possible with this guy, you're still going to lose to good players using certain characters. So are you carried using this character? I guess you're carried to a certain extent, but this character pretty much just relies on fundamentals and high damage, so he's not going to take you very far. Now, there's 2 types of ways to play Batman. The first is not carried. The first is actually using all of your tools, making stuff happen. And the second way is using 3 moves: the smoke bomb, the explosive batarang, and the dash attack. And if you only use those 3 moves, yes, you are absolutely carried. But if you switch it up with this guy, you actually play him how he is intended to be played. This is actually a pretty complex character, contrary to popular belief. I know he looks pretty cut and dry, but in reality, this character has a lot of complicated things to him. If you play Black Adam, you are absolutely 100% carried. I mean, just look at this up special, man. This is the only character in the game that just does not follow the rules of a 2D platformer. This guy is literally just a demigod. He can do ridiculous aerials that kill at like 60 health. He can fly wherever he wants, whenever he wants, not only vertically, but horizontally, thanks to his side special. This guy has literal full control of the stage at all times, and all of his combos are once again similar to Arya, pretty much pre-made for you. All you have to do is just click buttons and something will come out. Bugs Bunny pre-neutral air nerf was definitely carried, but at this point, I don't think you can say that. Honestly, if you want to be a good Bugs Bunny player, you have to take advantage of all his tools, including his safe, his rocket, and unfortunately, even his side special and his down special. Those are not the best moves on paper, but a good Bugs Bunny can make them look pretty nasty. You have to know when to go through these holes. This character is honestly pretty complicated. People don't like Bugs Bunny just because most of the time when they play them, they get beat up, but I promise you, in reality, a Bugs Bunny has a lot to think about in game. When he does this neutral air now, he has to do actual combos. It's not just predetermined where he can do side air, he can do down air, he can do up air. He has to do a specific move at a specific time in order to get rewarded. This is a similar character to Agent Smith in the sense that he's pretty honest, man. Now, I'm a Pocket Finn player, and really I have not put too much time into this character, and I can confess to you today that this character is completely 100% carried. Let me explain why. Pretty much this character just relies on 0 to death combos after getting forward tilts, and let me preface before I say this that people like Flat Coco and Lost Griff are doing big things with this character to the point where you can't say he's carried anymore because they're playing him in a completely different way. They're doing stuff like this. I can't even do it, man. I don't know how to do an instant air dodge cancel to do it. Whatever, man. What I'm trying to say, the large majority of Finn players are just going to rely on things like this. I'm messing it up because I'm horrible. You know what I mean, man. Just the 0 to deaths off of the jab strings are absolutely ridiculous, and you are going to get them pretty much once per game. They're way too easy to do. This character is pretty carried. If you go spend 20 minutes in practice mode, you are going to be a very solid Finn player. Garnet is that staple fighting game character that is not very strong, but is extremely brain dead and easy to play. If you use Garnet, you pretty much do like 3 moves. One of them is this, and when I say 3 moves, the large majority of the time, like 90% of the time, it's gonna be forward. It's gonna be forward tilt. But then the other 10%, you're gonna do this, and you're going to do the grapple move. How do I do it, man? This right here, and then you're probably going to try to create this near the ledge and suck them to the ledge, and it's never going to work, but you're going to keep trying it every single game because you have 0 IQ because you use Garnet. But yeah, the large majority of the time, it's just going to be forward tilt over and over and over. Every single time I play a Garnet, a forward tilt comes out like 60 times a game, man. It's absolutely insane how many Garnets just spam forward tilt. This character is brain dead and carried, but also horrible. Gizmo is easily top 3 in the entire game. He is just so unbelievably nasty. However, I would not say that he is carried. While he is broken, this character takes a lot of time to actually master. There is a lot going on with this character, such as the fact that you have to get combos off of that hit stun. I mean, look at how short that hit stun duration is, and determine the fact that you have to hit an entire combo off of that, and you can't really air dodge out of it either. And most of Gizmo's combos actually involve you to do something like that, and then you have to hit him with another arrow mid-air. Once again, something that I cannot really do. I can probably, you know, cook up something like this. I don't know, man. This character is not carried. If you want to be good with Gizmo, you have to actually practice. Even a bad Gizmo player is going to try desperately to take advantage of the arrows, because let's be real, the arrows are broken, but they're probably going to fail because you have to understand neutral to such a ridiculous extent in order to truly be good with this character. I don't think that he is carried at all. Harley Quinn was carried until this previous update when they changed her game plan from just spamming down tilt into forward tilt into up tilt into actually having to do combos. And now Harley Quinn players are actually complaining, saying that this character is not good just because she takes skill. Don't get it confused. This character is easily top 8 in the entire game right now. However, now you actually have to use your brain if you want to be good with Harley. So in the past, this character was 100% carried. Now I do not believe that to be the case. I think that this character actually takes a decent amount of skill in order to be good with her, because it just doesn't automatically string her combos together for you. You have to do combos by yourself now. I don't even believe Iron Giant to be the best character in the game, but is he the most carried character in the game? It's either him or Arya. I mean, let's be real, this guy is just way too big. He dies at like 180 health, and yes, you can't deny that there's some Iron Giants that are just leagues above everyone else in terms of skill. However, your average Joe is just going to be doing classic Iron Giant things, and even the top Iron Giants are going to be doing things that are just unfair. They're honestly just unfair. This character is completely carried because he can kill in like 3 hits, and there's nothing you can do about it. They're true combos that are going to take you out. This character is definitely carried, man. Jake the Dog, 100% the least carried character in the entire game. This guy has pretty much nothing notable about him except for his forward air. His forward air is definitely borderline broken if you can get good with it. I mean, this is just such a stupid edge guarding tool. The fact that it extends that far is so insane. But really, this guy's main combo starter is his neutral air, which has an absolutely mid hitbox. I wouldn't say horrible, it's a mid hitbox. And then his down air, which is not that easy to connect, especially 3 times if you actually want to get something off of it. Jason's a very scrubby character. I mean, this guy literally just relies on stupid damage and being able to hit extremely slow attacks. He's kind of similar to Banana Guard though. He's not going to get you that far. In a casual sense, I guess he's carried, but most of the time, you know, if you want to take this game seriously, I don't think Jason is carried at all. As a matter of fact, he will become the least carried character in the game as you try to get better and better with him, because he is so limited by his size and his speed. So overall, I'm going to say Jason is not carried. LeBron, and I'm gonna say this with a little bit of bias because I am so bad with this character. This character is probably more honest than Jake the Dog. I mean, at the end of the day, what does this guy really have? Even his ball moves are very mid when you consider the fact that once you use 2 is grits. Like, you have to hit a very horrible attack in order to get that ball back. At the end of the day, what this guy is fully capable of with both balls is just putting one on the ground and then, you know, shooting the other one at you or doing an up air or something, kind of confusing you. But if you have even decent peripheral vision, you're going to be able to outclass anything that LeBron is looking to throw at you. So all in all, I don't think this character is very good, even post nerf, and I definitely do not believe him to be carried. Marvin the Martian is a bottom tier, maybe a low mid tier, but people get mad at me because I'm so hard on this character. The reason that I'm so hard on this character is because he's kind of skillless. I mean, let's keep it a buck. This is a projectile spamming character, and I know Morty is very similar, but this is just Morty to the extreme extent. I mean, any character that just bases their gameplay off of spamming projectiles in a 2D platformer game is bound to be carried, because a lot of people, you're just going to be able to confuse them and make them panic with projectiles. But even though this guy is a bad character, I don't know, man. I still would call him carried. Morty is 100% one of the most carried characters in the entire game. I used to defend this guy. I used to call him low tier, but there's no more doing that, especially when you have things like this in the game. We can do stun gun into mud wall into up air for a kill confirm pretty much 3 out of 3 times every single game. You are going to get a kill with that. And you have mud wall into up air, also a disgusting kill confirm. You have stun gun into dash attack for when they get to a percentage where you can't do that anymore. Overall, Morty has the most guaranteed kill confirms in the entire game. His grenades absolutely insane. You can hit it at them very fast. He's a projectile spammer just like Marvin, except I would almost argue Morty is better than Marvin. I mean, well, actually, no. What am I talking about? Morty is 100% better than Marvin. His mud wall is like a ridiculous move. And really the only matchups that this guy struggles with is Arya and Gizmo. Like, that's pretty much it. Besides that, it's a fair matchup with pretty much everyone except for the high tiers, obviously, because they're high tiers. But yeah, this guy has ridiculous things. I mean, the fact that the stun gun gives you a full combo off of, like, I mean, just look at that. Very fast projectile. You're gonna get 50 damage combos. You're gonna get kill confirms off of it. The mud wall beats out any projectile. Morty's pretty carried. Raindog, although he's a projectile spammer, his projectiles don't really do much in 1v1s. And let me preface that, by the way. I'm talking about 1v1s in this video. Yeah, his projectiles aren't going to do much for you in 1v1s. I mean, they do a little bit of damage, obviously, but you're not going to get kills off of this. And that is why I think Raindog is not carried, because you are going to struggle to get kills with this character. I mean, as you can see, that didn't kill. The up air is extremely inconsistent when it comes to getting the correct hitbox. Sometimes the second one isn't going to come out, and sometimes you're just not going to get the kill, even when your opponent is at 130. Pretty much the only way to kill with Raindog is his down air off of stage and his up air when they're about halfway in the sky at like 100% or something, and even then it's not guaranteed. This guy definitely struggles to kill. He struggles to combo. He pretty much struggles with everything. This character is just so bad and it's so hard to play. I don't really think he's even worth picking up in ones, but yeah, if you choose to pick him up, he's definitely not carried. Like many other characters we've talked about, Rick is another one of those characters that is easy to play, hard to master, because at its core, if you do forward tilt, you are going to see some success with this guy. If you do forward air and forward tilt, you are going to see even more success until you reach a certain point, and then you have to start doing stuff like this. And even using stuff like this, which just looks useless, but it's really like applicable for Rick players. I mean, this guy can be so skill based, man. So yeah, I'm gonna say this character is not carried at all. He takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice to master. Absolutely not carried. Shaggy is the only character in this cast that is extremely brain dead baby mode easy, as well as top 5 in the entire roster. Obviously this character is carried. I mean, you have moves like this. He takes absolutely 0 skill, 0 effort, 0 practice. It will carry you to wins. This character will carry you to wins. He is absolutely carried. Steven Universe is carried by 2 moves, the watermelon and the up air. I mean, that's literally all you need for this entire character. I'm sure if you use these 2 moves, you are going to do pretty good. I mean, this up air doesn't look that good on paper, but the fact that it kills at like 70 health if you catch him at a certain angle, and the fact that the watermelon messes up your opponent's camera as he's running around, jumping off the map, making like your camera just go left and right. This character is carried. He's extremely easy to play. I thought that the shield setups were hard. I got into it. It's definitely not, man. This character is easy to play. He's carried. Stripe is interesting because I think that all of his moves are completely like balanced high C tier moves. I don't think that he has a single move that is just far better than every single other move, except for, you know, maybe you could argue the gun, which is going to net you some pretty skillless carried eliminations if you can knock them into the air when they're at like 60%. But for the most part, you have to use pretty much every single move that this character has in order to be good with Stripe. So therefore, I don't think he's carried. I mean, you have to use everything available, and even then, he's not that good. So how can he be carried? He's just not. Superman is equipped with multiple armored moves as well as pending this recent patch, 0 to death combos that are very easy to perform. I don't know how to perform them. I haven't put the time into it. On top of that, he also has various command grabs. I mean, this guy is literally the definition of a carried character. I mean, you can't get much more carried than 0 to death, armored moves, and command grabs. Superman is super carried. Taz is carried, but let me explain on this one. All right, so Taz's best moves, let's go over them. Well, first of all, obviously he has his up special, which you don't really have to aim or think about. You don't have to predict where they're gonna dodge. It pretty much does everything for you. You have a side special, literally the exact same thing. Literally carries you to wins. We have his up tilt, hits from both sides. Once again, you do not need to predict where your opponent is going to go. You just do your up special, it'll come out. Your up tilt in the air, or your up air, what am I talking about? Crazy hitbox, hits from both sides. Don't have to predict where your opponent is going to go. Neutral air, another great move. You don't have to predict where your opponent is going to go because it hits from both sides. This move, just a decent projectile. I mean, if they roll into you or if they're in front of you, you know, this guy just has so many tools to make it so that you don't really have to use your brain. He pretty much just plays the game for you in some regard. So I think that this character is pretty carried, man. Joker is still one of the most skillless characters in the game thanks to his up tilt and his up air and the balloon move and his jab. Easily the best jab in the game still post nerf. I mean, this guy is just so insane, man. He's got the parry. Like, everything about this guy is just nuts. He's completely carried. Tom and Jerry is a projectile spammer, but he's actually extremely hard to play. I've recently played this guy quite a bit, and I recognize like how difficult this guy is to truly master thanks to the Jerry shot mechanic. You have to shoot a downwards Jerry shot in order to get anything fruitful because you need the hit stun from your opponent hitting the ground. Any good Tom and Jerry is going to be using the Jerry shot like that, and it definitely is kind of complicated to sort out, especially trying to, you know, hit combos like this. I don't know, man. I think Tom and Jerry is one of the more difficult characters to combo with and to play successfully. Yes, he has his projectile spam, but it's a lot more controlled. It's unlike Marvin. For example, if you want to, you know, throw a dynamite, you have to put the dynamite down and then you have to hit it with your neutral attack. So like, you know, it's not as easy to shoot projectiles as it is with other characters. You need to really know what you want to do before you do it. You need to have great neutral control. He's pretty similar to Gizmo in that regard, but his combo game is very important. Understanding spacing, when to shoot Jerry, things of that regard. The only move that this guy has that really carries him is his down air and his up air. The hitbox is just absolutely sickening. Velma, honestly, I do not see enough Velmas to even come to an actual opinion about this character. I don't know how she's played in a competitive sense because there is currently no competitive Velmas. So all in all, I'm just going to go ahead and say not carried for the sense of me not knowing much about this character. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and comment pancake if you made it this far. I'll see y'all later, man.